Welcome to the Rent Success podcast, the only podcast entirely dedicated to helping you achieve rent success. We talk about the ethical way to get you started in property without buying it. This is our place to inspire each other to believe bigger, to be bolder, and to be game changers for good. Property investors and sisters Stephanie and Nicky Taylor are your guides on this exciting ride. Let's start up the engines and get ready to fly. Hello. It's Stephanie here from Rent Success. Great to be back with you today. And today's question is from Geraldine, and it's all about how long should the rent-free period be. Geraldine is just taking on her first rent-to-rent property. Congratulations, Geraldine. And her question is, how many weeks do I try and get free to put the tenants in? Okay, so I'll step back a bit just so you know what I'm talking about. So when you first take on a property, there's a period, oftentimes, not always, where it's empty, and you determine a period with the landlord or the letting agent when you're going to start paying rent. What we negotiate with, mainly we deal with landlords direct, is 3 weeks. And people are sometimes quite surprised at that, but actually another letting agent will not be paying them rent as soon as they take on the property to market it. They will be taking on the property, they will then be charging the landlord money for tenancy fine, inventory, other things. So the landlords won't be making money straight away. Some landlords are really fine with that you're having a period to tenant the property, and then after that 3 week period, come what may, hell or high water, even if the property is still empty, we pay the rent. That's what the guaranteed rent means. So the period beforehand is very important. And that is not the refurb period. I just want to make that totally clear. So if there's a refurbishment, then that is done previous. Well, then the 3 week period is from the end of the refurbishment until the rent start date. There's a 3 week period. Now, within that, you don't have to ask for 3 weeks, but I know that in our rent-to-rent Kickstarter coaching, people are often very nervous to ask for the rent-free period. But if you just present it as a practical thing, you're going to for the beginning, you're going to tenant the property before you start paying the rent, and there's a 3 week period for that. If your landlord's against it, obviously you can negotiate. Anything is possible. You might have a long rent-free period. We find 3 weeks works really well. And then after that, you've got another choice. So you can just say, even if I tenant the property before 3 weeks, I'm going to pay the landlord after 3 weeks. We do, just because it's what we feel is the right thing to do, is if we tenant any of the rooms beforehand, we'll pay a partial payment for example, if it's 1 out of 7, we'll pay 1/7 of the guaranteed rent for the period, even if it's before the 3 weeks where the official rent starts. So we will pay if we tenant. We will pay the proportionate amount of guaranteed rent if we tenant the property early. That's what we feel is fair to us, fair to our landlords, and that's just how we like to work it. But the answer to the question is, we ask for a 3 week rental period. You can ask for longer or you can ask for shorter. Okay, so I hope that has been useful. Thank you so much for being with me here today. If you would like more, we've written the #1 best-selling book on rent to rent. You can find it at renttoRentSuccess.com/book. Reviewers on Amazon have described it as the best rent-to-rent HMO book, and also as a definitive reference guide and inspirational. Take your next step today and buy the book. You can find it at rentsuccess.com/book. And I'll see you again next time. Until then, remember, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer.